Welcome to my video. Today we're building a double fairlie chassis. This is part 1 and part 2 will be building the bodywork, which is very straightforward. This is the hardest part. I've built one already. We're going to build number 2 to show you how it goes together. So what we'll do, that to one side. Got your chassis. You've got 2 free tubes, one long one at the front, 2 short at the back, which are your bearings. This tube at the front, when you glue that into place, just make sure it's equal both sides, so the wheels don't rub on the side of the chassis. You see this one is painted. As I always say in my videos, paint everything before assembly. Makes it a lot easier. So you glue the front one in place first, which is the simplest one. The rear 2, as you push them into place, slide your wheel in place, and then the next one, only temporary, push that into the home, and then make sure you push your bearing against the wheel both sides so it runs freely inside. As you can see, once you have no side play, maybe a little bit of side play, doesn't matter, mine's quite tight, super glue them into place or Eldite, leave that to dry, and then take your wheels out, ready for fitting up. So what I normally do first is the cylinder block, you can see there, painted black and red, maybe a few more detailed black outline to go around here yet, I'm not 100% sure. Comes pre-tapped. Cylinder covers are printed in silver. Again, I quite like them left as they are because they're quite snazzy, I think. Paint them up, drill 3mm, and then push your tube in all the way up to the cylinder cover. Get your reverse cylinder cover with the slots for the slide bars. Make sure that slides in and it can pivot. Don't want to glue this into place just yet until on final assembly. So once you've got that, you make 2 exactly the same. Again, paint them up so they're ready to be installed. And what I do, which is the tricky bit, so you have to bear with me, is fitting them into Allen key bolts inside that very small hole. As everyone knows, it's a pain, but I can't make every job easy. Bear with me. I haven't cleaned the paint holes out. one. can do. Clean the holes out of the file after painting. I haven't assembled this one yet, so it's a bit trial and error. Goes in. This one's not having any of it. That'll do. First one is very easy because you can use the holes to put the bolts in. This one not so easy. Actually do the other side first because the hole's in the paint. There we go. So I wind that in as far as I can. And then you may have to make the Allen key shorter. That's one. Try and get the Allen key in there. Again, these haven't got to be mega tight because they're being tapped into plastic. Sorry about the noise in the background, that's my 3D printer going. So now you bolt those two into place. And that's the way around, that's the top. And they're loose. You want them to pivot at the minute. Next is to install the front driving wheels. On the wheel you will get in the set if you can see, the crank pin with the brass bush and a nut and a washer. That's included in the Slater's kit. They go onto the front axle with the connecting rod and make sure it rotates nice and freely when you fit that. It's straightforward, it's literally bolt on as Slaters normally do. One thing I do keep forgetting, you have to put the axle in first. To get the wheels on. So put the axle in. One. Tighten that up. There's one. And then you need to look at your other chassis, which way you've made, which way they go. So that'll be at the top. Doesn't matter too much as long as they're quarterly. If you're really fussy, make them identical. Make sure you get the quarterly right and don't make them the same. Get your little screw. Screw that into place. Got your front driving wheels with connecting rods. Next job is not to install the rear wheels. It's to install the slide bars. You have two square bits of metal and one of them. These will need filing out to accept the rod. Good thing about this kit is they slide in quite nicely once you've cleaned them out, and they'll hold their position. Not like the very first kit, like the Hundler, which was you have to hold it in position. And what you do, this shape is the bottom, so this would be this side. You slide them in. Very tricky to do. You slide that in there. That clips in. Get your slide bars. They should push in to a little square hole on either side, so they can't actually physically fall off. So they're now wedged. But don't do what I just do. I forgot to slide that through. Right, what you need to do, slide that through there. Slide that through there. And then slide them in to the slots, like so. Like that. There you go, that's better. So that's now trapped in that hole in there. Makes it a lot easier to do it that way. Right, now to the other side. Again, two more slide bars. So I'll keep coming out of the video. Better. Make sure that the little square end is that way of the rod. Slide that in, clip that in position. Slide that in. There you got your second one. What you can do now is, if you're happy to glue all this together, make sure that that is not got a twist in it. If you can twist, make sure that those two rods, when looked down, are perfectly in line with each other. And then glue that into place. Bit of glue on here, around here, and on these rods, and then a bit of glue. You can do a bit of glue in the tags inside. In there. We should have secured all that in place, but I ain't going to do that now because I've got to take this apart again. Right. Now the second wheels can go on. In my kit you don't use the original pins. I made my own with some tubing, 2 washers and a 8BA bolt and washer. These will be in a little bag. Install 1-on-1 axle, no problem. Slide the wheel over, get your other wheel, again making sure that your quarterly is correct. Make sure you've got a little bit of side play, so you're happy with that. Now get your gear set. What we do, my gear set is 20-1. That's just what I wanted. Slide your gear in. Make sure your axles are quarterly. Put your nut on. Then you've got your wheel with your drive gear in position. We won't centralise that just yet. So we're now ready to fit the slider to the wheel. Again, these are all printed in silver, so you don't have to paint them, you can just leave them as they are. I quite like them as they are, stringy bit. What you do first, as you can see on this one, it's got a countersunk bolt, 2mm with a half washer. Make sure that's nice and loose, doesn't need to be tight, so you've got a bit of springiness. A little bit of dab of super glue on the top just to hold that nut into place, or you can use Loctite. 2mm rod pushes in till it's flush inside there. Inside, glue that into place. So what we'll do is install this one. Making sure it's nice and loose. go. Again, bit of super glue, nice and loose, don't want it tight, no point, they're just for show. Next bit is, slide that in there. It is a bit tricky. Like so. And then that rod then slides in and out nice and free. Don't want no tightness, nothing. You want free as you can get it. As you can see, that is literally first assembly of this one, and that is absolutely perfect. What you do then is you get your 8BA bolt with washer, and then you've got a piece of tube with 2 washers on it. One washer goes against the wheel there, and the connecting rod sits on the top with the tube pushed down it. And another washer on top. The connecting rod and the nut bolt, sorry, should then go straight into the wheel, making sure that washer is not trapped behind the tube. Do that. And there you go. That's one side. Again, the same onto the other. Get your connecting rod, very carefully slide that in. Nice and loose, and plenty of play in there. Again, get dry your washer. Washer on there, 2 seconds. That's better, I can see what I'm doing now. On there. That. Another washer on the top, very carefully slide that over, screw that into place, you may find it could be a tight spot. I mean, I've got quite a tight spot there. That means one of these holes on the slide bar on either side is a bit tight. Get a file it out a little bit either way, and that will become nice and loose. It shouldn't take long to bed in anyway. off a rolling chassis. So that is pretty much it for the chassis. Very straightforward. Can't really say much more on it really. It's very simple and straightforward to put together on my other chassis. Motor is very simple, comes with 2 screws. Put the worm drive on, slide that in and bolt it in place and get in the mesh correct, which should be fairly straightforward. So you're now left with 2. So this is the first time I've actually put this one together, so it's actually quite good. So one little tight spot, but I will sort that out later. So it's about there, so it's probably this rod here a bit snug that way. So file in the hole just to open the hole up a little bit. It's not going to harm it whatsoever in the running of this. So they're the 2 chassis. Next is the body, well the carrier frame. You have the carrier frame, which underneath you've got 4 big holes. They're used to have the firebox bolted on place later. That's why there's 4 big holes under there. On this one there's 2, not on this one, there's 2 extra holes on here. As you can see on this part here, there's 2 extra holes. I haven't got this on mine, this is an added extra which I've done recently to make this stronger. But I've had to use these bits for mine because for some strange reason I have misplaced them. So if someone's short, sorry, I don't know, it won't be short. What happens is that will clip into place. What you want to do first, you've got 4 hexagon holes. You want to insert 4 3mm nuts, which are included in the kit, all the way down to the bottom. So you want to get yourself a screw, wind the nut in until it's fully up, so they're all in place. And same as this one, underneath in each corner we've got 4 hexagons, 3mm. Insert 4 nuts in each corner, so that is ready to accept all these parts. This part, once painted, physically clips into place, as you can see. I've had mine already painted, as I always paint these for assembly. They do go together after painting, just with a bit of a file. So you've got that. And then you've got the foot plate, or front foot plate, that's the foot plate. This is the front part. You've got 4 holes either side, 2 holes either side. This bolts on the top with 4 2mm screws. Which bolt in underneath. They are countersunk. They will be countersunk when you get them. I will do that myself before I ship them out to you. So you get 4 bolts. 4 little nuts. screw them up. Not too tight, it's only plastic. So that is bolted into place. There's two of them. Won't do that just yet. What happens is then you slide that in. So that rests on there. On your kits, let's say there's two bolts either side. There'll be two countersunk bolts which you push through there, and two nuts will sit on the top of there, which will hold that stronger. Mine hasn't got it because I didn't think it needed it, but I was wrong. So what you do now, just get your two bolts into the middle, bolt them onto the carrier frame. Like so. Two more bolts. Either side. And that holds the middle foot plate in place. Like so. You can see, didn't think it needed it because all the weight is against that part there, so but I added the two extra bolts so it makes it easier to bolt the thing together. Hopefully they line up. I have checked, they do. So same with the other one. Push that into place. So. Printer's quite noisy today. Again, make sure they're done up. Slide that over. So, there you go, yourself the carrier frame. I'll try to keep it original as possible with the carrier frame to make it more realistic. So there's your frame. What will happen is each one will fit under there. And as you can see, it's looking quite smart. Okay, the second motor needs to be installed. There are some spacer blocks on here which go underneath each motor chassis to pack out to give you the right riding height. And there you go. On the next video, I will show you how to put the 2 pins in. I'm still working on either some 3D printed bolt and clamp, or just 2 5mm bolts. So please bear with me on that, but I will show you that on the next video, and I'll show you the whole assembly of the bodywork. Any questions when you do purchase and start building the kit, just let me know. Hopefully I've shown you how to put it together. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye bye.